Hello, and welcome to the Bankers Tech Talk series, looking at everything happening in the fintech scene. We're filming here at Mars Discovery District in Toronto. I'm Joy Macknight, Deputy Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Jeff Mitelman, who is CEO of Thinking Capital. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning.
Why is it that small businesses have such a tough time accessing funding?
Well, Joy, the party line historically is that small businesses are high risk or don't have good credit. We think that's highly symptomatic of a bigger problem in that there's not a good way to measure small business credit in the market. So what you would historically have in a FICO score or a Beacon score, that's not really an appropriate measure for small business credit. So the lack of that measure doesn't allow banks or lending institutions to really go and go deep into the market, and that really presents an opportunity for Thinking Capital as we evolve the language of credit in small business.
What would you say are the challenges to alternative lending in Canada?
You've really just identified the challenge in your question, and it's the word alternative. The characterization of alternative is that come to us when traditional institutions say no. And really what we're looking to do is we're really looking to serve the white space where historically lenders and borrowers have disconnected and haven't been served.
And I know that Thinking Capital is working with CIBC sort of to reinvent small business funding. Can you explain what you mean by that and what are you doing exactly?
Yeah, so this is a real milestone in the industry. This is really the first example of an established bank coming together with an innovator to ultimately recognize that there's a gap between how lenders lend and how the small businesses wish to borrow. So this is where we put ourselves together and say, if we can collaborate on this, 1 + 1 = 3, and we together can bring a trusted brand with a new way of borrowing to really engage more small businesses than we ever have.
Okay, and are you thinking of expanding outside of Canada? And if so, where would you go, or if not, why not?
So we're pretty bullish on Canada right now. We've been operating in the space for more than 10 years, and in as much as we see opportunity elsewhere, we've built our business to be what would be considered a top 10 property as measured by U.S. size within a much smaller market, and we still think we're in early innings here.
Okay, and you recently gave a talk here at Mars, really about rethinking success, and you talk a little bit about street capital. Can you explain the concept and what your talk was about?
Sure. So what we're doing is really hard, and what makes it really hard is we're trying to change a behavior. People aren't socialized to go and borrow in an online fashion. So the concept of street capital here is finding the influencers that exist in the market, getting them as passionate about solving the gap as we are, and really getting them on side for the methodology as to how to do it.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for your insights, Jeff.
All right, nice to be here.